Ads not read by me, Mary Payne, don't necessarily reflect the views of Pink Shade. If you'd like to listen to ad free, you're going to go on over to Supercast or Patreon, and you can find the links to Pink Shade Prime at pinkshadepodcast.com. Hey y'all, welcome to Pink Shade. It's Mary Payne here. I've got Kimberly from A Date with Dateline to talk about 90 Day the Other Way, Season 4, Episode 15, Where is Love? And then we roll into first part of the reunion. Wow.
Wow.
Wow. How'd you feel, girl?
I'm emotionally drained, I have to say. It's been a long season. I feel this way at the end of every season. But then when we go into the next season, I'm like rejuvenated again.
Yeah. Yeah. You won't have a break between the other
No,
way
they
and
don't give
before
us
the
it. They
90.
just hit it fast and hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the thing I'm concerned about with before the 90 is I saw the preview with the woman who's like a very young widow. She looks to be about 21 years old with children and a widow. And so she's
Okay.
crying and it's very sad and the music is very sad and it's like a different kind of 90 day. And I'm like, give us the trash people. I don't want to cry and watch
Oh,
this young widow. There better be trash people on the show or I'm going
of
to be very
course.
upset.
Of course. The
What
show
if
is bread and
Matt
butter as
Sharp
trash
is
people.
just like, "We're changing our brand. We're now the Hallmark Channel."
No, would never happen.
I hope not.
Did you watch the new show Match Me Abroad?
I taped it, but I haven't watched it yet. How is it?
Okay. I thought it
It's
was great.
it's part of the 90-day umbrella.
It's not.
It's
It's totally
not.
separate. It is a Matt Sharp production,
Oh, okay.
but it has nothing to do with 90 Day.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
the
excited.
theory is that these people in America have found a matchmaker in another country. So it's like a woman from New York has a matchmaker in Colombia that's going to help her find a Colombian man.
I kinda love that. I would do that.
It's interesting,
I
right?
would
It's
move somewhere else. Yeah.
well, please don't. So we need you here. And
No
guys,
one needs me here.
I'm recording from the beach. I'm at the beach with my mom and my sisters, and we had such a lovely time today. We went to the pool, and I taught my middle sister how to drive a golf cart because she didn't know
Mhm.
how. It's not like it's hard, but if you've never done it,
It can be
and
hard. I feel like I've almost tipped one,
it's
and
and
I've
every
only
golf
driven
cart is
one maybe
different.
once.
Yeah, and everyone is different, so, like, whenever we rent these houses, you always try out because there's always 2 carts, like, and then you decide which one's the best one, so we used the good one today, the other one was pitiful. So, but I'm sitting here, like, looking at my computer, but my view is of the ocean, and
Oh,
I'm just so
I'm
happy.
so jealous.
It's so peaceful to me, this is why I just want to live here, and I could, it would be so easy.
Oh, I love it.
I mean, except for my one kid that's still in high school that needs me there, I guess. Yeah.
Again, you chose to have a child, Mary
Well,
Payne.
that's true, that's true.
That's
Unless you
what that would
have
be me on every tell-all. I would be the one sitting there like, "Well, you chose to marry him." I just have no patience for people's decisions and then regret. I'm like, "Well, that was your choice, Jen. You
I
chose
don't
to go to
have
India."
regret, of having children or being at the beach. I have no regret.
I know. You
I just
shouldn't.
want I just want to live here
Your children
eventually.
are wonderful.
Yes, yes, supposedly. I did catch your, Yellow Jackets on
Yes.
Sunday night
Yes, I
with,
saw you in the
Katie.
comments. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I was trolling the comments, but I was very into it. I'm very into that Yellow Jackets YouTube live show
I
that you guys do. I'm very
love that
into
you're
it.
into it. Yeah, I love that you're into it.
A lot of theories, a lot of theories.
I know, and then you made a comment, and then you made another comment like, "I was joking, guys, calm down."
Oh my gosh,
It's
yes,
hard
because
to
people take
tell
us too
people's
seriously.
tone in the chats.
Yeah, yeah. I do, I love those comments because it's so, so much deeper than I get, right? It's
Yeah.
it's so interesting to watch it and then hear everybody's theories.
We have the smartest listeners of that chat, and they just have these
Yeah.
crazy and then they come after and they go, "Actually, it's pronounced this way," or, "Actually, they did say this in episode 4." And I'm like, "This is what this show takes." It's like a community needs to
Yeah.
a think tank needs to come together to pay attention to all of these things because you can't notice everything.
No, and when people remember things from, like, season 1, "Remember this?" I'm like, "How do you remember?"
Yeah. They're going back and rewatching. They're
Yeah,
doing the good for the community.
yeah, I'm not. Um, I will still recommend Jury Duty. Still out here promoting Jury Duty on Amazon Prime. It's really good,
I've heard really
and
good things
it's really, really funny.
from
It's a
you
quick
and
watch.
others. Yeah.
It's a quick watch. My sister said she started watching it too. She's like, "Well, why don't we start it again?" I was like, "I don't wanna watch it again. Now that I know how the sauce is made, I don't wanna watch it twice." All right, well, let's get into it because this is gonna be a long one. So season 4, episode 15, Where is Love? And guess what? I didn't look it up.
I looked for love. I didn't find
Yeah.
it. Not in my own life and not in the show. Um,
Oh,
where is the love? I don't know.
mm-mm.
Um,
It just reminded me of, "What is
that
love? Baby, don't hurt me.
oh,
Don't
see, it
hurt me
reminds me of
no
Where
more."
is the love? Black Eyed Peas.
Black Eyed Peas, yeah.
Yeah,
Um, None of that is what this is about, but and I look them up, but I didn't this time. I was watching you on Sunday night when I was taking my notes,
that's more
and then I
important.
had to stay and then I had to stay up until like a 1 to take the notes because I wasted not wasted, but
I know.
I spent 2
I
hours
did.
watching you guys talk
I
about Yellow
know.
Jackets
Yeah, we're a time
when
waster.
I should have been working. I should have
Yeah,
been working, but I wasn't. I mean, it
yeah.
was kind of working. All right, so we start this episode with Gabriel and Isabel, and Gabe is stressed because Monica said she's not coming to the wedding. I really thought as this episode went along that that was going to not be true, but she didn't come.
She didn't come. It was not a fake out. She
It was,
legitimately did not come, and the wedding was beautiful, and she is
it
gonna watch
was.
and feel like crap, and she should.
She should. And he says, it's my wedding. I'm supposed to be happy, and it's not about her. It's about me and Isabel. So I'm just not going to worry about it. And he says, it's raining. Oh my gosh, And he says, I didn't even tell Isabel about Monica not coming because I don't want to stress her out. It's our day, and I'm just going to let it go. So then Gabe hugs Ruben, Isabel's dad, and then Ruben meets Maria. And Gabe was like, I can't believe it's like crazy. Like our parents are meeting. And
And the
now we're
dad
over.
says what all of us is thinking, which is like, "Your mom is super hot." Like,
Yeah.
how is
Like,
that your mom?
simmer down, Ruben. So the women are all getting ready, Isabel, and she said she was upset because she does know that he's running late. She doesn't understand why he was late, but she's super nervous, yawning, sorry. And she says, the whole wedding, everything is like a dream. Like she's marrying her dream man. And she looks amazing. And then we see Gabe, as he's watching her come into the wedding. And I said, I'm going to say something. I don't like that tattoo on the side of his head. I don't like
Yeah,
it.
I don't mind it, surprisingly, considering how many times I've gone off on face tattoos.
Uh-huh.
Um, I found out I looked at his social media, and I think he went through a bit of a hair journey, a hair growth
Uh-huh.
journey. So I think
Okay.
there were times where it was a lot thinner and he was using some sort of product to make it
Okay.
grow. So
Okay.
maybe that was part of it, like he was covering up like
Hair
areas
loss.
that he was self-conscious about.
Okay. Um, so she walks down the aisle
She's
and
like, "That doesn't change my mind.
it
I am
doesn't change
still
my mind.
not
I
a
still
fan."
don't like it. I still don't like it. She walks down the aisle and he's very happy and he cries and they exchange rings and the whole wedding is beautiful. The whole thing. It's interesting the way they did it because the bridesmaids were sitting and I'm wondering if it's because it was like a Catholic wedding and sometimes the bridesmaids will sit because it's like a
Oh,
long
interesting.
ceremony.
That's
Um,
interesting. There were so many bridesmaids, and I
I
would think
know.
he does not have as many people because he just moved there. So maybe that was part of it too. It doesn't you don't want it to look so uneven. Like I have 15 girls in heliotrope. They were kind of in heliotrope, right?
They
From
were
Yellow Jackets.
in a
They're
lavender.
part of
Yes.
Lottie's cult. And sorry, that wasn't a spoiler. That's if you're watching it
It's not a
all, that
spoiler. It's not
can't
a
that's
spoiler.
not a spoiler.
No.
But I did notice that the girls were sitting, and her daughter's one of the bridesmaids, very cute.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't see anybody on his side.
I don't maybe that friend was that friend there? The
I didn't
son,
see
her
him.
son was dressed up nicely.
Right, right, true.
Yeah, but I didn't see that friend that causes problems, even though
Yeah,
I think that's made up for the show.
I do too. So at the reception, Isabel says, "So, where is Monica?" And she said, "I'm having so much fun. I didn't even notice she wasn't here."
That's the
And
best
Gabe's,
because Monica's gonna
yep,
watch that.
yeah, and be
Isabel
like,
saying,
"Ugh."
Was having so much fun, I didn't even notice she wasn't here."
And there's only 40 people there. She said it was a very small wedding, so it seems like she would have noticed. But Gabe says, "Well, she was upset about last night." And Isabel's like, "Why? Is there a problem with me or what?" And Gabe goes, "I don't know." and I don't want to talk about it. Let's just go talk to people. So he just totally blows it off like it's not important. And that's really sad. It's really sad to me.
Yeah,
But I'm
it's
glad
very
that
sad.
Maria's like, you can't change her. Let's just move on.
Yeah.
So,
And Isabel's like, "It's not gonna ruin my wedding."
mm-mm, and it shouldn't.
It shouldn't, yeah.
So, Isabel's parents are partying at the reception, and they say, because of what she's been through, we didn't know that this would ever happen. But God is big and makes great things happen at the right time. And like, we're super grateful for Gabe. And then
Oh,
we get Miguel and Sarah, the kids, and they said they are so happy Gabe is in their lives. Everything is beautiful.
they are,
It's
like,
just really,
literally jumping up and down from
yeah,
excitement. The daughter's, like, on springs. She is
yeah.
so just excited that Gabe is her new dad. It's so cute.
The
I
whole thing
can't
is so
take
cute.
it. It's so cute.
And so, in her talking head, Isabel says, I'm so grateful and I thank God for this man who is so different and so wonderful. And the kids are now so happy in their home.
Yeah,
It's
they
just
feel
great.
comfortable in their home. They feel, like, safe, and
Hmm.
I love that. I couldn't love it more. And then the tell-all comes, and Gabe has to ruin it all by having the worst takes ever.
Yeah, we'll get there, but that was confusing. That was confusing.
I felt like he was paid by someone to have the worst takes ever. I felt like he was playing a Jabri. Remember Jabri, who was like
Oh,
came in so hot at the tell-all for no
yeah.
reason, and he came at everyone. He came at Sean Robinson. He was just coming at people trying to start controversy for his social media. I was like, Gabe, please don't be doing that.
No, Jabri is trying so hard.
Yeah,
Still, he's out there trying so hard.
yeah.
All right, so now we move on to Nicole and Mahmoud. She has now been in Egypt 5 months. And as soon as his visa gets approved, they are going to the US. And he says he does worry about a lot of things, like he wouldn't be able to find a job or find friends or find a mosque, but he has to try it and see. And then he says, and I do worry that the clothing fight will continue.
He'll find a
Uh,
mosque in LA. I'm sure
of
there's a mosque
course.
here.
Yeah. And she says, well, we need to work these things out about the clothing so we can just live our lives. Like, we need
Yeah.
to work it out so we can just live. And, then she tells him, "Maybe, like, you could be less like a dictator, and even in the summer, like, I could have a shirt to here," and she points, like, right above her elbow, like, short sleeves. And he says, "I don't want anyone to see my wife's muscles, or I'll get so mad."
A, she does not have a lot of muscles.
No.
B, uh,
I mean,
E I don't even know what to say about this. It's like, how many times can they have the same fight? I
it's like
can't.
forearm muscles? I mean, what muscles does she
Yeah,
have right below the
yeah,
elbow?
the forearm muscles. And it's like, literally, are they gonna have the same fight for the rest of their lives, and do they wanna live that way? Is this
I
marriage
mean,
worth fighting for? Do they
no,
even enjoy being married to each other? That's the key. I don't think they do.
I agree. And she says, "So maybe you could address your anger on that issue instead of putting it on me." And he says, maybe I can. I change a little, but wherever I may go and wherever I may be, I will be Muslim." And she says, I understand that, but I have to be myself. And this is the thing that when you talk about it, it makes me just book a flight and leave. And he says, yes, but every time you just say, oh, I book a flight and I leave. And I really hate that. And then she says, okay, so let's talk about what you do when we have a fight.
Ugh,
And he looks super nervous because they did not plan this.
no.
And he goes, "What? Like I leave the room?" And she goes, "No, you go on your phone and have little chats with girls in other countries."
Is he sending
And
towel pics like Rishi? Is he
and
sending
he
Rishi's towel pic
he's
specifically?
yes,
He's
exactly.
pretending to be Rishi.
The closed captioning says chuckles nervously
Mm.
because he looks down and closed captioning says chuckles nervously.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And he says, "No, I never did. I never did what I did. What I did?" And she says
I
and
don't
she
speak
says,
English suddenly. Suddenly,
"All of a
I don't
sudden, I
speak
don't know how to
English.
put
Yeah.
words together." And she says, "How old are you? What are you doing? Did you make it back to your hotel last night?" And then he is caught and he goes, and then he says, "So why did you go through my phone? Do you think that's okay to go through my phone?" And she goes,
Classic toxic gaslighting.
"Classic."
You just flip it right back on them.
And she says, "It's as okay as you having chats with girls." And he says, "Well, when I'm talking to them, it's about work." Well, doesn't he sell rugs? Like what?
Yeah.
Does he?
This
Yeah.
woman wanted to sell him some TVs from China or something? That's what she said?
Uh-huh, uh-huh. So
What
the
does
other
he
day,
do? I
she
don't
said
understand.
he sells rugs. They met in
But
that
now
fabric
why
store
does he have need TVs? And the cost of
from
shipping TVs from China has to be more
I don't know.
expensive than
I don't
okay.
know. So she says, "Well, now I'm yelling at you guys. I'm really sorry. I was at the beach all day and now I'm tired." So she says, this is whoa, poor me. Play your tiny violin. Wow, that was an awful statement I
I
just
didn't
said.
wanna
So
say
sorry.
it.
God bless. Did you know what I mean? Though I was like in the
Yeah, no,
sun.
I know
That's
what
what
you
I
mean.
meant.
Yeah,
So she says, the other day he took off and he doesn't take his phone when he does that, so I can't find him. So that's pretty
that's
calculated. He
yeah,
leaves.
absolutely. And
Yeah.
again, she is in this country where she doesn't speak the language. I don't think
And she can't find him. And she's stuck in that
I don't
bedroom
like that
watching
at
herself
all, yeah.
eat. Yeah.
Yeah, in that mirror, the sad mirror.
And she says, "So I looked at his phone when he was gone, which I know is an invasion of privacy. I don't care. I found chats from other girls, and one of the girls is from China. And at first, she was trying to sell him TVs, but then he was chatting her up. And so she's talking to him about this. And he says, "Okay, so I did that. I did that thing. So I know I did that was wrong. It was stupid. Okay, so I'm sorry for doing that. Okay." And she goes, "All right, so I appreciate that you admitted that you crossed a line, and I guess it could be worse." And then she says, "This is your warning. Don't do it again." And he says, "I won't. I love you so much. I love you so much, honey. I love you so much. I want you to be happy. And as far as the clothes, okay, I'll try to change, honey. And I'm going to work so hard on that."
Uh,
What? What are these conversations that they have? They make it's like you're chatting with a girl from China and then he's apologizing for talking about your shirt. Like, what?
yeah, 3 thoughts. 1, his sister-in-law is from China, and she
Mhm.
came over, and it was rough, but she eventually caved and became a very good Muslim wife. Is
Mhm.
that what he's looking for now when he gets upset
Right.
with Nicole? He's
Is this
searching
a
for
girl
his
that's
own.
friends of Fatma? Right.
Uh-huh, and B, even his cheating is super PG. It's like, "Did you get to your hotel safely?"
Yeah.
It's not at all but C, and that's the big one, if she was caught chatting with any other men, he
Yes.
would divorce her immediately, maybe kill her. So
True.
and I don't mean that as just a Muslim thing, I mean that as a Mahmoud thing.
As a Mahmoud thing, you're right, because he
Yeah,
has anger issues that we'll see coming up.
yeah. He might have the darkness inside of him too.
Oh,
So,
he for sure does.
I mean, the double standard here is insane. She's not allowed to go to a yoga class where there will be men, but he's
Right.
allowed to chat secretly with women.
So then, they do a whole lot of, "I'm so lucky to have you, honey." "No, I'm so lucky to have you, sweetie.
Oh
I
my
love
god.
you." "No, honey, I love you." "Yes, everything is fine. Everything is perfect. Everything is wonderful, sweetie." So weird. All right. So now we go to Jeymi and Kris. And Kris has stormed off seemingly for no reason. This is what happened last week. And Jeymi says, "Kris won't listen if I don't raise my voice. She won't listen." So now Kris tells us outside that her son has just gone to jail. And then she says he got into some trouble with drugs.
Yeah.
And she says, "Jeymi seems supportive, but all that has changed." And Kris is like, "I can't work in Columbia, so I'm working in Alabama and I send money all the time." And Jeymi hasn't been working, but now she is working. So also Jamie's just selfish. So Jeymi
Do you
says,
think
"Here's,
the thing with the son has been going on for the 5 months, and that was one of the reasons she was staying in America but didn't wanna say it?
it seems like a new thing. It seems like first it was the
Yeah,
finances and her banking.
and the
Then
medicine.
then the job. Now it's the son. It's like it's always a new thing, right?
Yeah.
Um, and so Jeymi says to the producer, she goes, "She promised me I would not have to worry about money." And then she gets upset when I talk about money. And I'm in big debt now for trusting her. And yeah, I'm mad because 2 weeks turned into 5 months. And even though I do have compassion what she's going through with her son, I do feel all her promises are empty. And I think she's using the situation with her son to say that's why she didn't come for my birthday. But the situation with her son was way after my birthday. And then she's telling you that she spends every single penny. That's a total lie. And when I'm right, she gets mad. And I try to talk to the person, but she doesn't want to listen to me. The person I love is what she said, not the person. So Kris now storms back over to the pool to talk to Jeymi. And did you notice when she came over that sad little charcuterie situation they had from the grocery store? Did you notice there was the whole plate of cheese balls?
I
Like
did.
like cheese I like cheese balls you get at the grocery store in like a big bin. They're so good.
Yeah. Again,
They're like
did
air
they not invite more people to this party? They could have a huge spread and a cake, and then
and a pool. Yeah.
and a pool, and whenever Kris walks off, Jeymi is just sitting there like, "It's my party and I'll cry if I want to," just, like,
Right.
crying tears into the cake. That could have been avoided if those fun gay friends were there.
I know. They'd totally be doing cannonballs. They're having a great time. So Kris storms back over to the pool and Jeymi says, "Are you ready to listen to me now or no?" And Kris says, "You talk, but you don't let me respond." And Jeymi says, "You don't want listen to me for 5 minutes." And Kris goes, I'm not getting to defend myself. Like you're just talking and you're still talking and you won't let me defend myself." So they go back to this rent
They need a
conversation.
mediator or a translator, some sort of
Hmm.
they need Randy to come in and do like a therapist that speaks both languages and that
Yes.
could teach them how to talk to each other.
Yes. Yeah.
And
That's right. Where's Randy?
we need it to get to the bottom of this. Like,
Yeah.
is Jeymi a freeloader? There's no other jobs that she could have. Doesn't she feel bad for just constantly asking for money? Meanwhile, why does Kris keep ghosting her and like promising things? So there we need to get to the bottom of it.
I did have a listener that was from Colombia said it is very hard for Venezuelans to get jobs in Colombia.
I don't I
Yeah.
buy that for sure. I buy what they're saying, but I don't believe there's like nothing that she could do. She has those friends, none of them work for someone that would hire her. She just
Mhm.
seems to go to the gym and go out to lunch with her friends. Like,
That's what we're that I know, but I don't think
but
that's true. I'm team
that's the editing.
yeah. Yeah. I think that
I think they're both kind of messing up.
yes, yes.
I don't think there's a
So,
good guy, bad guy here.
um, then Chris says, "Okay, well, here's the question. What did I tell you I could afford for rent?" And she says, 400. She goes, "And what is our rent?" And she says, 550. And Chris goes, "That's what I told you. And then you did more. So that's part of the problem." And
I
Chris is
mean,
like,
that sounds like nothing, $150 more. That's over a fourth more. That's a lot.
I could definitely remember back in days when I first lived in DC and it was like, I can afford 475. Like
Yeah.
475, that was like for my room. I was like, if you
Uh-huh.
find a place that's 550, I can't move in. Like I can't
No,
afford that.
that's too big
Yeah.
that is literally, like, 30% more. That's a
Yeah.
lot.
So that is literally my grocery money for the whole
Yeah.
month.
Mhm.
So, Chris is like, "I'm sorry I wasn't here for your birthday, but my son comes first always. And I'm sorry that I raised my voice, but I'm done. I'm fucking moving out. I am done. I don't care. I'm done. 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 Selfish person. I'm done. Go fuck yourself. I'm done. Find yourself someone else to pay your bills. I'm done. Fuck off." And Jamie's like, "Okay, you see, she can raise her voice, but I can't. Just let her leave. Just let her leave." But Chris is like gone from, "I'm sorry I wasn't here for your birthday, but my son comes first. Anyway, I'm done.
She
Fuck
has a
off. I'm done."
temper, a
Yeah,
scary temper issue.
it is. So then they all go are walking towards the production vans, but it seems like they're going to have to get in the same production van.
I was so mad there's not 2 vans.
Yeah.
Separate these women, please.
So Chris is already in it and Jamie's starting to get in and Chris is like trying to talk and they're both like saying, "Don't talk to me. You don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. I want to talk to you." And Jamie goes, "I love her, but now she's saying I love her for the things, but her things are her things. What things?" And Chris goes, "I didn't say that one damn time." And Jamie goes, "I wasn't talking to you." And they both are like, "It's ridiculous. No, you're ridiculous." And then Chris jumps up and says, "Go away. Get the fuck away from me." And she jumps up and pushes her
A huge,
physically.
huge shove. Like, Jamie stumbles back. That was
Yeah.
physical, physical violence pretty much. That was
And the
out of
mhm.
nowhere.
And the production guy is like, uh, uh, you know? Um, and Jamie tells us, she goes, when I look at her, I see hate in her eyes. She hates me. And she cries. And it seems kind of sad. I mean, she pushed her and then she's like, she hates me.
I know. I just don't I am like, yeah, I don't know. No, what she did was I feel badly for Jamie, but I also don't think she's 100% innocent in this. But she in no way deserved to be pushed. That was completely unacceptable.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
Because she jumped from one seat to the next
Yeah.
and then pushed her and then
Yeah.
slammed the door in her face.
That was terrifying. She could
Yeah.
have hurt her. And the
Yeah.
crew members are like, "I did not know stopping a fight like Jersey Shore was on the resume for today. I did not know. I thought it was gonna be Kris and Jeymi, we're gonna be fine."
Whew. All right. Let's go to Rishi and Jen. And he says, I'm heartbroken because Jen has broken up with me, but I had to tell her my family will not accept you. So he goes to the temple with his friend and astrologer, Nitesh, and he tells Nitesh what happened. Now, I didn't understand this temple. I was like, is this a storage room or is it a temple? It's like, what's going
Oh.
on? It looked like a roadside temple.
Yeah, I think there are, like, roadside temples.
Yeah. So
I didn't like
he is,
that Ritesh, like, put his mat right next to Rishi. It felt like their knees were almost touching, and I'd be like, "I
yeah.
need a little space if I'm gonna be in my temple. Please give me, like, a little I don't wanna smell your breath when we're
Well,
sitting
I'm
that
sure
close to each other."
the producer's like, for the shot, I need you guys to
Yeah,
be knees touching. Yeah.
yeah.
So he tells Nitesh what happened, with the translator and, the friends came and everything. And basically, he was like, if that bitch translator wasn't there, I could have made up what I was saying.
Yeah, he
But
admits, "I would have lied. I totally would
yeah,
have lied."
I
Yeah.
wouldn't have said any of that stuff. And he says, and my mom, her main problem was the age. She has said no about the age. And I have told Jen this information and she has returned the ring. And Nitesh is like, oh, he goes, but we love each other. Like, we love each other. And this is so hard. And Nitesh says, did she really give the ring and say it's over? And Rishi says, yes. And Nitesh says, well, here's the truth. Love marriages are hard. And your love story is too complicated. And then he says, I'm trying to tell you about the horoscopes. The marriage will never happen. And he tells us it's a hard role to be an astrologer and a friend, but I didn't tell him. But the astrology says he can never marry her. Never.
I was mad at the astrologer. You say you're trying to balance being the friend and the astrologer. Both of the friend and the astrologer role should have told him the truth when you
Hmm.
saw in the stars that this marriage wasn't going to happen.
Never going to happen.
Yeah,
Never going to
why didn't you
happen.
tell him? Isn't that part of your job?
Why August 2nd at 4 p.m.?
Why did you say that? If it was
Yeah.
never it just couldn't happen.
So Rishi says, in our culture, we believe very strongly in astrology to help us make a match, but I believe in love more than astrology. So I'm not willing to give up and I will fight for us, which is shocking,
Yeah, we'll
right?
see.
So now we see Jen. She's in a cab going to see Rishi at a cafe. And she says, I'm on my way to let him know that I'm leaving, leaving on a jet plane very soon. And she says, it's been a week since I broke up with him, but I don't think he gets it. I don't think he understands that it's over. I'm sure he does think he's probably going to do just what Submit did and
Right.
have his chickie on the side
Uh-huh.
and do what his family wants and still have
Mhm.
her living there.
Jen's not going to go for that.
Mm-mm. So they meet at this cafe restaurant. Did you notice behind them? It's like pizza. Pizza is good for your body. It's like live, laugh,
The
love,
the
and eat
sign
pizza.
said pizza is good for your body?
It said like pizza is good
I
for
need
the. It
that
was like
sign.
it was funny.
That's a
It was
a
like
word art sign I could get behind.
it was like little children had written it on the wall, like tried to translate it into English. And so they sit down. And he goes, "Yeah, how's the weather? It's pretty hot. Yeah,
Oh
it's
my
humid.
god, I couldn't. The
Here's some
humidity, yeah.
here's some chai. Yeah." So she says, "Okay, Rishi, where do you feel that we stand?" And he says, "I don't have any control of these circumstances, and this is very hard for me to accept that you're leaving or that you've left me or whatever." And she goes, "Well, Rishi, here's the truth. It's never going to work because of your family. So we both need to move on. There's too much against us, and I'm going back to the US." And he says, "When?" And she says, "Soon." Which I hate that. Just say 2 days, 3 days,
Yeah.
whatever.
And also, is she just hanging out? What is she doing there by herself? In the
Well, it's
sitting
been
in
a
the room?
week. Well, they're doing production and then probably, she's trying to get a good fare. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that's
and
true.
this will be the last time that we see each other before I leave. And he's like,
And we
"What?"
have the
And she,
reunion.
yeah, don't forget the reunion. And she goes, "I just want you to be happy. I want you to find someone. I want you to be happy, but it's just not going to work." And in the talking head, he tells us it's very hard for me to express myself. And it's very hard for me to tell her, like, don't leave me, but I don't want her to leave. So she says, "You have to let me go. I have to let you go." And he tells her, "But we have these beautiful memories, and you're such a beautiful person with a beautiful heart. And if not for the circumstance, we would be together forever." And she says, "Okay, but we have to let each other go." And her talking head, she says, "I do not regret anything about this. I don't regret the relationship. I don't regret the time that I spent with him." And then I said, she dramatically kisses him and then walks away as he walks her walk away. Talk about a heliotrope.
Yeah.
She was in a heliotrope get
Uh-huh.
up. Jen does not have great style. I'm going to go ahead and say it. She doesn't.
Her style is not my style. I really don't like the hair stripes. I just don't like
I don't
them.
either. My son's girlfriend has that, but she's 16. So,
Right. Yeah.
um, and then he wipes away a non-existent tear. It looks like he was trying to conjure one up, but he
Yeah.
just wipes his face like with a non-existent tear. And then
I
he's
thought
talking
he
head.
looked like he was crying in some parts of the scene.
I think he was sweating.
Oh, okay.
It was hot.
That's
It was
fair.
hot. And talking head, he says, "It's not over for me. I will fight for this relationship. I will fight for it." And then that is the end. That is the end until we roll into the reunion. All right, y'all. I know you've heard me talking about microdosing. Okay. Microdosing is what lots and lots of people are doing to feel better, and then you can get so many health benefits. Let me tell you what microdosing helps you with. Okay. Creative boost, enjoying the moment, sleep. That's for me. Pain, also me. Everybody knows I've got this back pain, anxiety. I mean, at this point, everybody has anxiety. Am I right? Workout and recovery, and I've even heard it helps with sex. So, what I've been using the microdosing gummies for are for sleep because my mind just runs and runs and runs. So, what I've been doing is I've been biting one of these gummies in half about, I don't know, 45 minutes, an hour before I'm ready to go to bed. And by the time I'm ready to lay down and sort of read my book and go to sleep, I'm able to fall asleep without the hamster wheel of my mind not shutting off. It's really been great for me. It helps me fall asleep, helps me wake up rested. Last night I slept for 8 hours. It's a total and complete miracle. And I've tried everything, guys. I've really tried everything. I know that producer Ingrid has also been taking them at night for sleep, and she has really been reporting to me some wonderful benefits for her nighttime anxiety and sleep as well. So, microdose THC gummies are available nationwide. To learn more about microdosing THC, go to microdose.com and use code PINKSHADE to get free shipping and 30% off your first order. You guys, they have all sorts of gummies, all sorts of flavors, and they taste really good as well. So the links can be found in the show notes. But again, that's microdose.com and use code PINKSHADE and let me know how it's working for you. Hey, y'all, do you ever wish you had visibly thicker hair? How about less shedding of your hair? Maybe stress is causing your hair to thin, or is it the other way around? Do you have stress because of your thinning hair? There are multiple root causes of hair thinning, and Nutrafol addresses key root causes through a whole body approach to hair health. Millions of Americans experience thinning hair. It's not only common, it's totally normal, but among women, it's not really openly talked about. And if you're going through it, you might feel lonely or frustrated or again, stressed. So you can join the thousands of women that are doing something about it, including me with Nutrafol. Nutrafol is the number one dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement, clinically shown to improve visible thickness and strength. I have gotten my Nutrafol and my husband has gotten his Nutrafol and we have been taking it. They come in these really sleek black bottles that we just leave right on our counter. Gorgeous. So you're going to go to Nutrafol.com and take their hair health wellness quiz. You're going to identify the causes of your thinning hair, and Nutrafol is going to give you a personalized plan for better hair growth because they treat it from like if you're like perimenopause or if you just had a baby. There's all sorts of root causes for this. And again, sometimes stress is the cause. So take the first step to visibly thicker, healthier hair. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter promo code PINKSHADE. Find out why over 4,000 healthcare professionals recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code PINKSHADE, Nutrafol.com, promo code PINKSHADE. All right, so we're going to start now with the reunion. New York City. Now,
Debbie
Gabe,
is in New York City, y'all.
whenever anybody says New York City, I know this is such an old reference, but it's this Pace Picante commercials where it would be the cat.
New
It
York
would,
City.
yeah,
Get
they'd
the
be out
rope.
the cowboys, and they'd be
Yeah.
like New York City. It's every
Yeah.
time. So we see Gabe, and he's doing some sort of vlogging. He's in some sort of like apartment slash hotel room. I was like, where is he? Did he get an Airbnb? It's very strange
Yeah.
because it's like a brick wall. And Gabe tells us he's very excited to see Danielle, and he loves Debbie. And he tells us right away, not a fan of Kris and all her ailments. Not a fan. Not a fan.
Why is he giving hot takes right away? He loves Danielle. He's like, "Oh, I love
Loves.
Danielle."
Mhm.
Who loves Danielle?
He also really liked Nicole, and so he was being a little flirty, I thought.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. So then we see Jen, she's getting ready in her hotel room, and she was like, "I gotta tell you, I already know I'm not gonna love Debbie's dude in Morocco. That whole thing is heartbreaking to watch." Now then Nicole arrives, and she says, "People will be surprised. Mahmoud and I have gone through some changes, and that y'all might be surprised with what I have to say." A lot of talk about her one-armed dress. So she
Yeah,
has a dress that only has one arm, and
yeah,
it's like just people can see her muscles.
yeah.
People can see her muscles. Now, we're arriving at the studio for the taping, and Gabe meets Nicole. It was like, "Oh man, like you're my favorite. I'm so glad to meet you. I'm so like obsessed with your hair. Like at first I thought it was a wig, but it's not." And she's like, "Oh my goodness, people always think it's a wig. Isn't that crazy? It's not. It's just my hair." He's like, "Your hair is so perfect." I was like, and Gabe goes, "I got to tell you something flat out. I'm not a fan of Mahmoud." And she just goes, oh, my fiance?" And she goes, "He's too young to have a mind that's being so controlling to you. How's he going to feel about that slutty dress with the one arm out?
I see those muscles.
I see those muscles in that armpit." And she goes, "I don't know, but I am no longer enabling his insecurity." And he's like, "All right, girl." Now, Danielle arrives and she says, "I'm sure Johan and I will get some criticism if people think I should cook and clean for him just because he's hot." Nobody thinks that.
She's just reads the room so wrong. Because first it was we were jealous of her.
Uh-huh, right.
No one was. And
No.
now it's because he's good looking or tall or whatever, we think she should be a housewife to him and cook and
Nobody has
clean.
said that. Nobody has said that.
Neither of those things are true.
It's so weird. So Gabe has a hot take. His hot take is he likes Osama and
I
doesn't think
died.
he's using Debbie for a visa. He thinks Osama really loves Debbie. And every single person that's sitting there is like, huh, okay.
Gabe, you made me root for you all season.
I know. This is your hot take?
I
Yeah,
I
not
was, like,
good.
literally in shock. My mouth was open. I was just I have no words.
I was like, Osama?
Who
That's
who
who he's
came
talking
out
about?
from that season thinking Oussama was the greatest guy?
So Debbie arrives, and she's in some sort of leopard print get up, and she's like, "I am here at the epicenter of temporary insanity. Let me hurry to it. Sometimes Miss Debbie is emotional and can't help it, and I may say some unkind things. Hey, hey, how are y'all? Miss Debbie likes all the accessories, y'all." This third person situation is hilarious.
I know, it's amazing. Also, I think her hair looks much better. I think it's
Yeah,
way less fried, and she
yeah.
got it conditioned or something.
I think she got a hot oil treatment when she got back home.
Yeah.
Kris arrives with some multicolored hair and a bustier and a new ailment. She's been vomiting for 3 days. She's been throwing up in hotels and airports all over this United States.
Gabe, like, rolls his eyes. Uh-huh. Sure.
Gabe's like, "Oh God, with this one, it's always like my neck, my back, oh my throw up," and then he does like a like a Jim from The Office look at the camera, like,
Yeah.
and he
He
goes,
has
"It's a
no
lot. She's a
sympathy.
lot." Yeah. So we see some people walking into the set. We don't know who it is. I assume it's Randy and Myra because they just showed the back of them. Then we see Tim and Veronica are our sideline commentators.
Which is a new thing they did last
Yeah.
season with
Yeah.
Kenny and,
Tim.
Tim. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Tim's got on a snazzy, silver jacket. So Sean starts and she's just going around doing quick introductions, right? She's like, "Okay, Debbie and Osama. Now we hear, Debbie, that Osama has been trying to communicate with you. Can you tell us about that?" And he says, "To me, I try to call her thousands of times. So to me, she doesn't answer, so she doesn't care." And I said, "Debbie's in quite a get up. And she's got those green
I don't know
boots.
how she's walking with all of those jewels, like, weighing her down.
That thing, that thing on her neck was a Countess Luann's special. It was a
Yeah.
real statement necklace." So then Sean says, "Now, how are you, Danielle and Johan? Are you still married?" And Danielle's like, "Yes, we are technically married." And she goes, "Technically, huh?" And she goes, "Mm-hmm." And she's in a real sparkly dress. She's really feeling herself.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. Now, she says, "Nice to meet you, Jen and Rishi. Now, have the two of you been in contact since the show?" "We have been in contact, Sean." Rishi really tried with his
Jacket,
sparkly lapels on
bejeweled.
his blazer,
Yeah.
but he's wearing like a rumpled t-shirt underneath.
Oh.
Yeah. Gabe and Isabel are like, "We're fine. Everything's fine. We're perfect." Then Sean meets Nicole and Mahmoud, and Sean says, "Nicole, tell me about this outfit. I guess he didn't pick it out, huh?" And Nicole says, "No, Mahmoud, we had some other choices, and he didn't want me to wear this, but I did." And he's sitting over there like, shoulder. And then
Armpit, muscles.
Chris, Chris and Jeymi have not spoken since we last saw them. So, wow, they haven't spoken since that
That's
push at the
crazy.
production man.
Good.
Yeah. So now we start with Debbie and Oussama. We get some clips of their story, and we get her saying, "You are crazy. You are," no, he's saying, "You are crazy. You are sick. You have mental illness. I have planned to go have visa. You take me to the USA and guarantee my future." And Debbie's like, "All of this is hurtful. Oussama used to be so nice, but he's very unkind and a mean person." Johan chimes in with a hot take. "Hey, Debbie, why don't you just get him a green card and help a young guy get a job?" "I'm with Oussama. Why not? Just take him to get a job. If you can help him, why not?" And Danielle says something pretty funny. She's like, "Of course you are, stalker." She goes, "I don't understand why you don't see we're not a nonprofit."
Yeah. I loved that. I actually did think that was very funny.
And Jen's like, "Oh my gosh," about Oussama. Like, he's a user and a terrible person. And Johan, and she goes, and Jeymi goes, "Johan's interested because he has a similar situation." Johan's like, "Right. I'm in a similar situation. Just let me come over. Just give me the green card." And Danielle's like, "What?" So Gabe says, "Oussama, you have messed up, man, because she could have really given you the life you wanted." And Debbie goes, "That's right, man." And Sean says, "Oussama,
Wait,
did
did
you,
you hear the actual thing that Gabe said when right before he said that? He
what do you
said,
say?"
"I mean, Debbie could be using Oussama to live in Morocco, but no one ever thinks about that."
And that Tim and Veronica were like, "Wouldn't that be a twist?"
I died. I, like, threw down my headphones, I walked away, I had to take a walk around the block. We do now he think Gabe, precious angel Gabe, thinks that Debbie is using Oussama to live in Morocco,
Hmm.
in his little
Right.
village.
Right. So Sean says, "Oussama, did you love Debbie? Did you ever love her?" He says, "I did love Debbie, but I do not love her now." And Debbie goes, "He doesn't know what love means. He doesn't even know." And then Sean's like, "Why have you been trying to get in touch with her?" And Osama says, "I'm trying to call her hundreds of times to make it clear to her that I don't love her and that there's no future. That's what I want to make clear to her." And Julian is on the side and he's just getting heated. He's like, "Every single thing he says is a lie."
Yeah.
And as he's talking, you hear Danielle on the side. She goes, "You could tell he's a total dick, right? He's a dick." And Mahmoud goes, "How old are you? How old are you?" "Okay, so he is only 24. So I don't know how she is for old, but how for old she seems to be so old for him." And Nicole's just like putting her head down, like, "Okay."
And Gabe
You know,
is laughing 'cause
uh,
but, like,
yeah, Gabe is laughing.
but, like, I did have a realization. Normally, the age thing doesn't bother me that much between them. I don't know why, maybe because she acts like a five-year-old, but
Yeah.
I realized their age difference is if I married someone who was born this year.
Okay. Yeah, it's over 40 years between them.
That's crazy.
It would be if I married someone 3 years younger than my son
Yeah.
currently. So Osama says, "The souls have no age." And Rishi goes, "Yes, I think Debbie is a nice person that found a robot over there in Morocco. He has just no emotion." It was so funny. That line didn't get enough credit. I thought it was
No, it should
hilarious.
have gotten more. I gave him a nod. I wrote it down. You got it, Rishi.
um, and then Julian walks out. It's like, "Da-la-la." It's like music at the OK Corral. And he steps in front
Tumble
of the screen with
a
his hands in his
tumbleweed.
hips. Yeah, yeah. And he's like, "Howdy, partner." And he steps out and goes, "Boy, let me tell you something. You are so full of shit. You done mess with somebody's mama, and you don't do that. You're in my world now, and you lucky you ain't here.
I wish
This
he had
seems
said,
to,"
"And my world is America."
Oh gosh.
Two-time World War champions.
Two-time winner of a world war. So he says, this needs to be over with your stalker ways. Like he needs to not call or text no more. He's a psychopath. So Sean goes, so why were you calling to end the relationship? Like you didn't need to call.
She wasn't
And
answering.
she
It
wasn't
was
answering.
clearly over.
And he says, and were you sending Debbie text that said, I love you? And he says, I don't remember that. And she goes, yes, he was doing that, sending me text says, I love you, Miss Debbie. And I said, he does not love me. And Julian, who's fully stepped into his role now, Julian took some acting lessons in Sugar
Yeah,
Hill before he came. And he
yeah.
says, I'm a cop and I can sniff out bullshit a mile away. You're lucky my mom even gave you a second of her time. Go to the dentist and get yourself fixed up. And Gabe's like, oh shit. Oh
That
shit.
was crazy. He's trying to be the new Jamal, like Kim's
Mm-hmm.
son, and get on a
Yes.
spin-off and date someone else. Is Veronica still single? Like,
They are trying to
he
get on Pillow Talk big time.
Uh-huh, for
Mm-hmm.
sure. But I don't know if the teeth line was too mean or
Uh,
I mean, we've said it, but are you allowed to
yes.
say it on TV?
Yes. It's an obvious ailment that he needs fixing. He says, get yourself fixed up instead of preying on elderly women who seem vulnerable. Get a job. Oussama says, I will not get a job because I am a poet and I will die for my dream. And Julian's like, oh my God. And Debbie just nods like, that's right, Oussama. You could die for your dream. That's right, you're a poet. So Sean says, okay, let's switch gears and let's talk about your connection. When you were first together, did you have a physical attraction? And he nods and he says, Debbie, you tell them about the night in Casablanca. You can ask Debbie. And Debbie goes, well, Sean, we had some wonderful evenings in Casablanca with wine and fine food and dining. And he did try to get amorous with me. And they're all like, oh, he was trying to have a Barry White moment. And she goes, he was.
Ugh.
And Debbie says, but the plan was never come to the United States. That was never the plan. I do think early on in our talking, I joked it would be funny if we tried because the application would be such a joke. Of course, it would be turned down because of our age difference. Now we go over to
I
our
was glad we finally got some specifics from her on
that
if
she
she had
did say
mentioned
it
it.
at one time.
Yeah, and that she had said it as a joke because
Yeah,
before she just kept going, "That's not what it's about." And it's like, "But did you say it?"
right, right. And she did at one point say it as a joke. And so Tim and Veronica
Years
go,
ago.
years ago. It's been like 3 years.
Yeah,
Tim and Veronica, the color commentators from the side, are like, he is the biggest scam artist
yeah.
of the group for sure. You're correct. So Debbie said, so then they asked Debbie if she sent him money. And she goes, in the last 3 years, I only sent 2,000, 3,000 chump chains, all on something like groceries. And, if the man needed that help, I can help him out. And Kris goes, I know how you feel because those of us, Debbie, you and I, we have big hearts and we just want to help people. And Jeymi's over there. Julian says, boy, you need to put on your big boy pants and get a job. And Gabe's like, anyway, Oussama, my buddy, my friend, what you should do is you should sell your art to tourists because tourists love to buy art from other countries. And Oussama lets us know that he doesn't sell his art because people need to understand his painting. And if they don't understand his painting, he can't just give it to them to put on the couch above their living room. He's not selling underwear or something. Did you get that dig?
I did not hear that. That's insane. He
He
said
said, I'm
that
not
about
selling
Gabe?
underwears or something like that. The first time I heard it, it didn't
I
register until the
missed that.
second time I watched it to take notes. And I was like,
Wow.
oh, you turned on the only friend you got, man.
Yeah, and then Gabe is starting to Gabe, when Julian came out and started talking about the texts, you could see it
Yeah.
in Gabe's face. He's like, "Oh crap, am I on the wrong side of history here? I think
Yeah.
I tied my wagon to the wrong star here. Oh
Hmm.
crap, what did I do?" And then it just gets and then he finally says it. He's like, "You I was rooting for you. I was
Yeah.
the only
Yeah.
one. I made a fool of myself by telling the camera that I was excited to see you and I liked you."
Yeah. He says, I'm not selling underwears or something like that. I am selling something valuable to me. And I have to sell it to someone who
God.
understands my art. Debbie understands me. And Gabe goes, man, I was on your side, but you made me look bad.
Yeah, and I
Um,
screamed, "Yes, he is making you look very bad, Gabe." And I never thought anything would make me look at you in a bad way.
and then they ask him, were you trying to get her back? And he says, yes, I was. I was trying to get her back because me and Debbie, we are like a poem. Um, and then Debbie says,
A poem that a
I
tourist
don't
cannot understand.
I don't know, man. For me to talk to you again, you'd have to move a mountain. And Sean goes, "What kind of
Really?
mountain what would you want? And would you do move the mountain?" And first, and Osama immediately goes, "No." And Debbie goes, "Maybe he could buy me an airline ticket." And they're like, "No, Debbie, wrong
Debbie
answer."
need a conservatorship, like Brittany,
Yes,
because Julian, I was thought you were a little overbearing before, but now I think you're right. Think
yes,
you need to take control because the fact that she's still talking about maybe he could move a mountain, maybe he could buy her a ticket. No.
yes, yes. And Julian's like, no, no. And he says, "No, I'm not willing to move this mountain." And Julian goes, "Okay, we'll see you on text in a few days. Okay, bye bye." Um, So they take a break, and Debbie goes off to the side to do some sort of weird acting gig with Julian. The two of them, like, don't you think this is so like this is like improv class?
Yeah, it was very funny.
So she goes over and is like, Julian, did you see that Jen was so cute and nice and was batting her eyes at you? And he says, Mama, you got my number. You can give it to her. I was like, wait, what?
I have to admit that I did think this before they did this scene,
You did? You thought
because
Jen was
when
interested in
he
Julian?
came in hot and said, "You came for my mama," all that stuff,
Yeah, yeah,
Jen goes, "I have to say, I love you. I love you right now." And
yeah,
then anytime he said anything, she was laughing the hardest, she was clapping, and I thought, "Is she into Julian? Is that something
yeah,
happened?" And then they had that scene, and I was like, "Oh, I called it."
yeah.
But it
I
did
wouldn't have
feel
called
fake.
that at
It
all.
did feel
Yeah.
like they're setting it up for single life or something. Yeah,
She's like, "Between you and me and the fence post." He's like, "Okay,
yeah.
mom."
But I can't see Jen dating a America cop.
No, I can't either. Mm-mm. No, 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 no. So let's move on to Nicole and Mahmoud. Tim and Veronica say it'll be very interesting to see what happens when Mahmoud comes to the States. It will be interesting to see when he's not in control of the situation. And Tim goes, I mean, they hate each other. And Veronica's like, what? And Tim's just like, yeah, I said it. They
Yeah.
hate each other.
Yeah, you're right, Tim.
He's right. So Nicole tells Sean that she's currently in LA and in 20 days, Mahmoud has his visa appointment and he can come to the US. And Sean says, how do you feel about that, Mahmoud? And he says, I am really happy about that. And they all go, you don't seem very happy. And she's like, yeah, it's not very emotional. And Nicole says she wanted to be in LA first to get stable, get the apartment, have a job, and all that before he arrives. Because, yes, she will initially have to support them because, as you know, when you get there, you can't work for 90 days or whatever. So Sean talks to Mahmoud about getting engaged after 1 week when they've met. And he says, yes, it was so interesting because before I met her, I never
It's
thought
a
about
lot
getting
longer.
married.
It's until they get their work visa. It could be, like, up to a year, I think.
But see, they're already married.
Oh, that's interesting.
So I wonder if that's different because it's not the same as you have to start with the 90-day visa.
Right.
They're
Interesting.
they're coming from a spousal visa.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
already married. So
Good
maybe it's
call.
different. So, he says, I never thought about marrying anyone before I met her. But when I met her, something changed and I knew this was the girl and I would only have gotten married for her. And Sean says, you converted to Islam 2 days before the wedding and you didn't try to learn anything about the religion beforehand? And she goes, yeah, probably not. I just went in head first. And Mahmoud says, I told her, if you want to be Muslim, it's you. It is your choice. But any child I have will be Muslim. And then Gabe, I don't know why Gabe is picking this fight, but Gabe's like, what if your child doesn't want to be Muslim? And then they go into this whole conversation. And Gabe's like, would you force your daughter to wear a hijab? And Muhammad says, no, no, no. Islam does not say to force anyone to how to dress. It is up to the person. We don't force anyone. And Gabe says, well, you're forcing her to change the way she dresses. And Mahmoud goes, I have to tell you, it is between me and my wife. It is between her and me. And Gabe's like, okay. But it's like everything you say, it's like whatever you say goes and nothing else. Like behind closed doors, like you force her. And Mahmoud's like, okay, so I don't know what you're saying. And then no. It's between me and her. And when he says, it's between me and her and my wife, and you need to stay out of it, it's none of your business, Nicole looks down at her feet and goes, oh, Mahmoud, honey buns. So weird.
It's the
So Mahmoud
weirdest
goes,
thing ever.
it's so weird. And she goes, it's between me and my wife. And Kris goes, but I'd like to know, will you make your child stay true to this faith? And Gabe says, yeah, you're going to force your religion on them. And Danielle goes, and will they go to a Quranic school? And it's like boom, boom, boom. And Nicole goes,
Yeah.
I don't have any kids right now. So like, I
Yeah.
don't know.
But you need to think
Um,
about that, Nicole.
she does. And what Mahmoud said was, I will teach him, I will show him how to be Muslim. And Sean says, but let me ask you this. Would you guys have the same opinion if the religion was Christian or Jewish? And Gabe goes, I
I
don't
mean,
think you
that's a
should
good
force
question. For
because
sure,
they were
that's a good
piling
question.
on. They were
Yeah.
piling on.
And I think if it was like Orthodox Judaism or something
Yeah.
that's very restrictive,
Hmm.
especially for the women, I think they would be asking those questions.
If it's very strict. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Gabe goes, I don't think you should force any religion on a child. And I think he suppresses her behind closed doors. And Mahmoud's like, why you keep saying force, 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 force? No one forces anybody anything. And he gets all mad. He takes his mic off. He throws it down. And then he's under his breath. You shut up, you fucking asshole, you motherfucker, you fuck asshole, you fuck face, fuck asshole. He's like storming off.
Yeah.
It's
I've
just
never seen
crazy.
him cuss like that.
We've seen him get mad when they had that fight
Yeah.
on the street
Yeah.
where he was grabbing her arm and stuff, but we've never seen him with all the curse words.
Yeah. That was crazy. I didn't know he
It's
knew
pretty
all
funny.
those words.
And then that's the end of it. But then we see previews and we see Jeymi and Kris fight about naked pictures. And Kris is like, she was sending those naked pictures to me and everybody else. And Jeymi has said that she has video of Kris having sex with an ex-boyfriend that was sent
She
to
w
her.
I keep picturing her having the metal halo thing.
It's terrible.
I know.
It's terrible. And then we have Isabel and Gabe's friend, that guy, I think his name is Max. And he is saying Gabe is really a player, and you don't understand. When we go out, the women just flock to him. And Isabel says, if he wants to live that lifestyle, he'll be living it without me. Um,
And
and
Gabe
then
seems
we,
to be just sitting there, which is kind of his go-to. I feel like he
yeah,
was like around a lot of trauma because he either gets really in the fray, like jumps and goes after Mahmoud, or he
yeah,
shuts down and just lets
yeah,
everyone fight over him and doesn't say anything.
yeah. And then we see Jen yelling at Rishi to talk to his parents. Go ahead and talk to them. Go ahead and tell them right now.
What
Hey,
is
why
he
don't you
going to
tell them
tell
now?
them? That
I
he's
guess it,
still going after her? Like they know
that
everything now,
that they're
right?
going to be together. I don't know. Um, and then we see Myra and Randy, and they're on the couch with their hot take. They tell Danielle, I don't know, like you just like emasculate this dude. You like carry his balls around in your purse. And Danielle's like, really?
It's like
Hmm.
Danielle has never heard that before. Like she's not on the Reddit threads seeing what people are saying about her.
Totally, totally. And then we see Mahmoud rant and rave about Gabe. And she's like, okay, honey, where are you, my love? My love, my honey, my sweetie. I want to talk to you, my love. And she's like, where are you now? He's like, I am on the camera. I'm ready to confront this motherfucking asshole, dipshit, piece of shit.
It's like Mahmoud is Angela and Nicole is Michael, and she's trying to like he's trying to bring her down, like
Yeah,
down to earth, like so she doesn't attack a crew member and
yeah.
just like, huh, where are you? Okay, let's talk. Maybe you think you're ready to
Okay.
come back? You think you
Okay,
can
honey
come back and
buns.
be a civil person that's an adult? No?
Mm,
Okay.
okay, honey buns. Okay, love. Okay, my
So I
love.
don't like the
Okay.
addition of honey buns to the
Yeah.
my love, and I don't like it.
I don't enjoy the addition of honey buns either.
Uh-uh.
It's a little off-putting.
Yeah.
And that is the end. And so we are going to get 2 parts. I'm praying to every religion that is featured on this show. I'm praying
Yeah.
to everyone. Please don't let it be 2 2-hour tell-alls because we know we've got 2 parts coming up. Please don't let it be 4 hours. Please let it
It's a
be.
lot.
Please let it
Last time it
be.
was 4 nights,
Yeah, but
and that
it
was
was
way
4
too
hours.
much.
Yeah, so I bet this is gonna be 2 2-hour tell-alls
Yeah, it might be. It might
because
be.
we
We
have it
haven't
coming.
addressed Kris and Jeymi. We have
Mm-mm,
only gone into the surface of Mahmoud and Nicole. Danielle and Johan could be a whole episode of everyone
true.
yelling at them. And then they're gonna make up some drama
And then the
about
Jen and
Gabe and
Rishi thing, we gotta
Isabel.
yeah.
Yeah, and then yeah, he's gonna have to tell his parents.
So we have, May 21st will be the next tell-all, the 28th will be the tell-all after that, then, we have June 4th coming up before the 90 days, and I have secured a, high-level, top-notch podcaster to review that with me, and her name is Kimberly.
Oh my god. That was a twist I didn't see coming.
Were you worried I was gonna be like, "And it's not you"?
I thought you were gonna say you had some exciting guest or something. You read Sean
Oh, no.
Robinson, and I was like, "Okay, dump me for Sean Robinson. That's fine. I understand."
She won't even let you tag her on Instagram. No.
She wa
Mm,
oh,
uh-uh. Like, I always try to, like, tag her or stuff, and
yeah,
it's like, this person does not allow tagging on Instagram. It's like, she does not wanna be down in the gutter with us.
I understand. She's very classy. She does not
Every time
age. She's
she
found the fountain
walks
of youth.
out and you're like, "Ho
It's
is Shawn Robinson
ethereal.
80 or 20?" She is
Yeah,
so gorgeous.
yeah, it's, like, literally ethereal. She's, like, one
Yes.
of those women that you just don't imagine ever farts or poops or anything.
No.
She's magical. Yeah.
She's so perfect and magical.
But we
That's our
did get one. Well, I don't think this is gonna be resolved now, so we're gonna move
Yeah.
on, like,
Yeah.
that's my favorite.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like, "So we're gonna move on." Randy and
Yeah.
Meyer are here
I wish you
to
the
do
best
it.
of luck. Goodbye.
Yeah, good luck. So everybody make sure to follow Kimberly and Katie on Date with Dateline. Their Dateline on Instagram, and they have got their Date with K and K, like I was telling you guys about Sunday nights on YouTube, where they break down the latest Yellow Jackets, and whew, it's really good. It's
Yeah,
really good.
this episode coming up is supposed to be the biggest episode of the season, so
Well, it'll be the
number 8.
penultimate because it's 8.
Yeah, mhm.
And then the stupid writer strike is going on. Everybody
I
support
know.
your writers because they had to lift their pen and stop writing. It's gonna
Stop.
delay us getting another episode.
I 100% support our writers, even if Mary Payne doesn't. Hot
I
take here,
do!
you just learned Mary Payne doesn't support our writers.
I did not say that. I said that the writers this writer strike is affecting not only are we not getting the Tonys this year because of it,
Oh,
and now, we're getting several weeks of delay of writing on Yellow Jackets where they could be in that writer's room working it out for next season.
I know. It is a shame, but we gotta support
Support
them.
support the writers, guys. Support the
Yeah,
writers. I
yeah.
I I I am a supporter of the writers. Stop it.
I'm just kidding. She's
People are gonna
fully a
lose their health
supporter of the
insurance. It's
writers.
bad.
No.
All right. Well, I will talk to you later this week for the finale of Indian matchmaking and starting of Jewish matchmaking. I've already watched
Yay,
it. I've
so
already watched
excited.
episode 1 of Jewish
Oh,
matchmaking.
what was it like? Was it good?
It's good. I think I'm going to like Indian matchmaking better, but I've only watched 1 episode, so it's too
Okay.
early. But
Is there
people,
one matchmaker person?
mhm,
Okay.
mhm. There's 1 matchmaker person, and she is she's Orthodox. So whenever anybody says they're Orthodox, all I'm looking for is the wig because I'm obsessed with the Orthodox Jewish women wearing wigs that is their exact same hair.
I know.
I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah,
And
I
she
know.
has a wig that's her exact same hair.
She
So,
does.
yeah, which I'm always like, why?
I am gonna be so out of my league in terms of my Judaism here.
I know it's a lot of like Sephardic or Ashkenazi.
Yes.
We learn about that. We learn what that means.
Yes. Uh-huh.
We learn about that at the beginning, and some people are, like very into the religion. Some people are only high holidays, and then
Right.
yeah. So it's very yeah. I'm going to learn a lot. So I'm
Yeah.
glad that I have you as my expert.
Oh god. Okay, I gotta brush
So
up.
that is over on Supercast, guys, and over on Patreon and Supercast, we are covering 90 Day Love in Paradise. And later this week, I'm going to have an interview with Larison Campbell, who has an amazing podcast called Witnessed Devil in the Ditch. It's a great true crime
Ooh.
podcast that's been just like continuously top 10 of all podcasts in the world.
Wow.
Yeah, just like top 10. It's
Amazing.
it's up there. It's really good. So she is a Mississippi girl, and I'm going to be interviewing her. I'm gonna put part of it on the free feed, and then the other half will be on, Pink Shade Prime, which is Supercast and Patreon. So,
I have to subscribe. What is her
yeah.
podcast called?
Witnessed Devil in the Ditch.
Wow.
And I believe
Sounds
there's
good.
8 episodes total, and I believe up to number 7 is out right now.
Amazing.
It's really good. It's really good.
Okay.
One of the
I'm in.
Southern crimes where somebody gets murdered and they still don't know who did it.
Love it.
And they just carry on. All
Are
right,
they gonna
and
solve
I'll
a crime? Is it gonna solve a crime and then be like the next Your Own Backyard?
no. Sorry.
Maybe.
maybe. I mean, let's hope that her putting it out there will get some tips, but no, no, sorry. Sorry, okay? I'm sorry. Um, sorry, that was a little Ramona for you guys. Okay, I will talk to you later. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.